Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we're going to be having a look at the Magnaguard from Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Now, I was really conscious, obviously, that I think it was probably about 2 months ago now, I picked the Jedi Survivor 3-pack up. And I did obviously just do a sort of a quick first look, but obviously I suddenly realised I hadn't actually done a review of any of the figures in there. So you got obviously the Magnaguard that we're going to have a look at today. There was also the KX security droid and also the Riot Scout Trooper. So we will obviously have a look at those all individually. But obviously I wanted to do this one first because I never, unfortunately, ever owned a Magnaguard. So I couldn't tell you the sort of difference between this and the original release. I know some people have sort of said the staff colours possibly needed to be slightly different, and the wraps that appear around obviously that Magnaguard I think are slightly different as well. But in terms of the card back, it's a quite nice looking card back. Obviously it's an artist's impression. You've got the camo logo down there in the bottom right and the warning logo in the top right as you look at it, and the 4+ age group. The actual figure itself in the bubble looks really nice. I know obviously I sort of talk about army building a lot, but it's a real shame that obviously they wouldn't sort of release this, or maybe they will, as a separate figure as opposed to being in that specific Jedi Survivor 3-pack, because you would need more than a couple of these really. But anyway, so nice looking card back. Obviously the Magnaguard is on that sort of, I'd almost class it as like a sort of a darker red name pill. And then obviously you've also got the figure with the sort of the darker red behind that. So a very nice looking front of the card. Let's have a quick look at the back. So not masses to report on the back of the card. This is VC188. Obviously you've got the lovely Star Wars racetrack, vintage collection logo, legal information, and just the other figures that were in this Jedi Survivor pack. So you've got the KX security droid, the Magnaguard we're going to have a look at, and Riot Scout Trooper. But VC188. So just going back to the front of the card, the other, obviously just a couple of things to sort of mention on this is, yes, it's on that sort of really nice thick cardstock, and it's lovely that we're now getting that. And obviously for sort of carded collectors, then, you know, these are this figure, or these 3 figures, I should say, that came in this pack, all are unpunched, which is absolutely lovely. You know, if you're a carded collector, it does make a difference, as bizarre as it sounds. It just makes it look a little bit nicer. So really good front of the card, nice image, figure looks good. Let's now get him out of the packaging and we will have a look. Okay, so here we've got the figure out of packaging. Came out really easily. I know that sounds silly, but some of them obviously have loads of tape and things with the accessories that they have. This one just popped out. There was nothing really taped down inside. And I've got to say, this is a really lovely looking figure. I mean, you've got obviously some really nice colouring on it. You've got that sort of darker brown around the sort of shoulder pads, if you like. He's got a really nice, that soft goods cape. It sort of drapes around the side and obviously all the way round to the back. I'm not going to take that off just quite simply because I think that could be a bit of a nightmare trying to get back on. But it works really nicely. I mean, obviously there are peg holes, but obviously they're so tiny. I wouldn't even dream of trying to get this guy on a stand. But because of the articulation that you've got with this figure, you can actually get him in some really decent poses. In terms of the articulation, you know, you've got obviously articulation at the head. This is the full bells and whistles, really. Articulation at the shoulders. There is a swivel just above the chest plate there. Articulation at the elbows. There isn't articulation at the wrists as such, but they are twistable, but they're obviously sort of more on the forearm. He comes with that lovely butterfly hinge on the hips, so you can get him in some great poses, obviously, if you want to. Articulation at the knees and at the ankles. Now, it doesn't have a rocker ankle, but you're not going to need that on this type of figure. So really stunning, really stunning. As I said, the one shame is that, you know, you would probably need more than one of these, really. You know, if you're, I know I talk about dioramas and scenes and things like that a lot, But this really would be a really great figure if they could put into, you know, one of those like army builders, because I think that would work really, really nicely with this figure. In terms of the accessories that come with this figure, you literally get this. Sorry, I was just having a look at this. You sort of get that electro staff. Please forgive my ignorance. I'm not really sure if these pieces are actually meant to be come off or not. I think if you pull that off, it takes the whole of that bit out, which I suppose you could have it either way. You could take them both off, obviously, if you wanted it sort of unlit, if you want to class it as that, and then obviously drop that on if you were having it. It does look a bit weird like that, but maybe someone could let me know in the comments, really. Maybe that's just the way it is. Oh no, looking at that image, it does sort of have that casing on top, which does seem a bit strange, but you know, it's a decent staff, and it is the only thing that obviously sort of comes with this figure. But overall, as I said, this is a really, really lovely looking figure. Really great articulation, super card, great card stock. It's just really, really good. Let's see if we can get that staff in his hand. Okay, so after a little bit of manipulation, managed to get that in okay. And yeah, actually looks really, really great. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to get this figure into other poses, then of course you can do that with all the articulation. This is just a very basic pose that I wanted to put out there. And I will do a review of the other ones, the KX Security Droid and the Riot Scout Trooper shortly. But at the end of the day, this is a lovely, lovely figure. Really, really chuffed I've got this. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button. If you are new to the channel and you want to subscribe, there'll be plenty more videos coming shortly. If you've got any questions, any comments, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll come back to you as soon as possible. So, hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.